I'm torn between the two. On one hand, it's like it makes an unsafe environment. I think it's hard to argue that it's more safe in the States than in Canada. On the other hand, I get why they created it in the first place. That's my kind of my controversial.
Ron?
There's so much to add here.
So we're big Second Amendment
So,
guys, I think. Well, I can speak for myself, but
definitely, yeah. I in a way, I wish we had a little bit better. I wish the public had a little bit better understanding of how gun control works in Canada. In Canada, I don't know if you're too. Are you familiar? Are you a
Not
gun
so
owner?
much, please.
Not at all.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, that's actually great. So I'm a licensed gun owner, and I've been a licensed gun owner, I believe, since I was like 17 or 18. Okay. I'm 39 today, so it's a long time ago. There is a course that you need to take, a safety course that you need to take, and there's I forgot the name of it, but there's every single day that you are a licensed gun owner for a certain class, the RCMP actually conducts a check on you to ensure that you are not found criminally charged with anything every single day. So licensed gun owners in the country are the most they should be the most respected and safest people out there.
Right. Because if they catch, if you
Anything.
have some kind of thing, it's like that
You're
gun's
gonna
getting
get
taken
red
away.
flagged, and they're gonna come pay you a visit. More than likely. I've thankfully never experienced that, and never will. Yeah. But all things to say, all this to say is that gun control in Canada needs to be a little bit more publicized, because right now they're trying to take away the guns from licensed gun owners in Canada.
Well, they've banned assault rifles, they've banned handguns.
So there's so much to talk about here, but assault rifles again, like that specifically, that wording that they used scares the public, right? Because
murder rifle. Let's go one step further.
Assault rifles can be, in their view, can be a simple rifle that is actually used for hunting as well, but it becomes an assault rifle. It's like a knife. You can use a butter knife and stab somebody with it. Yeah. Right? Yeah. That becomes an assault butter knife. Yeah.
That's actually a very good analogy. I like that.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go back to gun control in terms of publicizing it. They wanted to take away all of the guns from Canada, from the licensed gun owners. And yes, they've made some changes to Border Patrol to try to catch all of these illegal weapons coming in. But they wanted to take these guns from the licensed gun owners and donate them to Ukraine recently. Did you guys hear about that?
That's insane.
Yeah. Anyway, recently,
the audacity.
A few days ago, I saw an article where they decided to pull that back because Ukraine stated that these guns are not worthy of war. They're not war worthy. So why are we still pushing this agenda, costing taxpayers billions of dollars to pull back this?
I think you said it. It comes back to education. You taught me some new stuff today, but imagine the rest of Canadians. All they hear is assault rifle, and they see like the headlines of the school shootings in the States, and they superimpose that here, and they're like, I just don't want that.
Of course, 100%. Like I'm a father of three. And the last thing I want is our school system not to be safe, for sure. But licensed gun owners is not, like, punishing licensed gun owners is not the way to go. Right. You need to,
especially if they've gone through all of the requirements to be that level of secure, vetted, etc.
Well, the problem is you're continuously removing licensed gun owners. You're taking away their guns. But is there less guns on the streets?
Right.
Where the criminals that actually commit crimes, they're still running around with guns. I mean, people are still breaking into people with guns. There was a shooting, I think, yesterday in Ottawa.
I stopped counting, to be honest.
Yeah, there's a shooting in Ottawa every single weekend.
Those guns are for those shootings. They don't come from hunters. They come in through
illegal ways
through the borders and stuff like that, right?
There's different
ways
for sure.
of acquiring these firearms. I'm sure, because I mean, they're all over the news. I mean, they're doing a shooting every day. I'm sure John that went and got his license and registered his weapon did not run around downtown Ottawa yesterday with his licensed weapon to shoot people, right?
No.
So, but again, yeah, I do agree that regulations are important in certain matters like this, because these are very powerful weapons that can cause bodily harm.
Yeah.
But that being said, it's not the licensed owners that are causing the harm.
Yeah.
So instead of us putting our focus on the wrong ones, kind of like what we're doing in business, instead of the government putting their focus on the wrong solutions where they're creating the problem, well, let's go after the ones that are actually running around with weapons that are not registered, without people that have passed and been vetted in all levels.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, you know, like I think there's some extremes, like, you know, open carry in Texas, concealed versus
Florida.
concealed in Florida. I look at this in a very weird way. So we went to Lebanon, and I think a lot of people carry weapons in Lebanon.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. And you never hear about any shooting.
Right.
And because it's a leveled playing field, right? Like if you pull out your gun in Lebanon, you better be ready to use that gun.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, the guy in front of you is going to be willing to use his.
Yeah.
So you don't see idiots running around pointing guns at people, because they know that, like, there's a way of life and there's rules of life that you do that don't pull that thing out, right?
Have you heard the saying, an armed society is a polite one?
Yeah, because you never know what your neighbor has.
Yeah.
Well, we were in Florida, actually.
No.
And I remember it's like, so I'm very outspoken. Obviously, a lot of people know that I'm a very outspoken guy. And I make a lot of friends sometimes. But I don't care.
That's just you, man.
That's
That's
just
your personality.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Be yourself.
The opinion, I don't remember the opinion of others bringing me any checks by home. So it is what it is. And you know what, though? I remember I'm sitting with Ron. We're driving down, me, Ron, and Roy. And the first thing he tells me, he goes, you know, here, maybe you shouldn't be too outspoken.
Right.
And then I was like, well, I was oblivious to the whole Second Amendment, Florida, weapons. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, you know, the guy could be carrying a gun.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, so my butter knife won't be enough to protect me.
No.
So maybe I should shut my mouth.
Yeah.
So basically what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
you know, and you're 100% right. And an armed population is a very polite population. I don't know if that's exactly how you said it, but
Yeah, an armed society is a polite one. Yeah,
I think it is.
I find Florida very polite personally. I've been quite a few times in the last few years. I'll be going a lot more. We do business there, and I was like, these people are nicer on the surface, anyways, than Canadians on average. I'd say
There's a lot of Canadians too,
Florida. A lot of Quebecois, but it's something that I noticed. Floridians are jovial. They're in a good mood. They're polite.
I think the sun helps though.
Yeah, definitely.
the vitamin D.
Yeah, that vitamin helps a little bit.
You know, I was thinking this is a good segue now. Guns to Charlie Kirk, right? Yeah. Since you had brought that up earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it? You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first, man.
So this is a hot topic. I have a background from the Middle East. So, you know, Charlie was pro-Israel versus Palestine. Just want to make that clear. I don't believe that Israel has the right to continue conducting what it's doing. I think this has become a genocide, and this is probably the first time I say this out loud. I'm sure a lot of my friends will appreciate to hear it, but I've always felt it. I don't think any human being should be killed, yet alone these innocent children that are dying in Palestine. I think that is absurd, and I'm surprised that the world has not reacted. But putting Israel, Palestine aside, and there's a lot of things that Charlie Kirk said, and you just said that made me reminded me of him. You know, like following your 10 Commandments. He was for small government.
Mm-hmm.
He was for the Second Amendment. The irony of him dying to the Second Amendment. And he said it, right? He said sometimes some violence has to happen in order to preserve your weapons.
Very ironic.
The irony is insane.
He was talking about it right before he got shot, right?
Well, he was talking something to do about that, but there's actually a clip where he refers to
Someone asks him, they're like, what do you think of all these like gun deaths because of this Second Amendment? And he says, unfortunately, some people, some have to be, the few have to be sacrificed for the many, right? For the greater good.
Yeah.
And it was ironic because obviously he gets killed by a gun. But then where I think people maybe took this too far is people who oppose Charlie Kirk's views kind of made a mockery of it,
Well, that's just insane.
But he literally was the example of his own, the example in his own statement, right? And it's interesting. You know what I would have liked to ask Charlie Kirk if we roll back time is I'd ask him, what if you were on the receiving end of that? Would you still make this statement? And I bet you he would say absolutely.
Well, I think so because of his spiritual, the route he took spiritually and how
he's a Christian, right?
He's Christian and he was preaching a lot of Christianity to the world. I think that sometimes the way God decides to deliver a message, it's for God alone to decide on how you will be the messenger. It's not for you to decide how you'll send the message. And if you truly believe and you're a real believer, then you won't question how God has decided you to be the message on earth, right? But again, like I said, I don't think this is about agreeing with Charlie Kirk or not. I think it's mostly nobody with an opinion should die for their opinion. I just want to make that clear. Like,
fully agree.
I completely condemn all political violence. I condemn all violence. Like, we shouldn't be killing each other. We're no longer savages living in forests. So I condemn any form of violence that is happening towards anybody. But like you said, I think that there's some people that were radicalized where you take these weird little clips online and you just listen to these one little clips and then you make an opinion out of somebody. So it's like, yeah, I might agree with 5 out of 10 things you said, and I might disagree with 5 out of 10 things.
And that's okay.
But that's okay because democracy at its core is a debate.
It's freedom of speech.
Yeah, it's so we can debate.
So important.
If we can't debate, what's a democracy?
Yep.
If we're going to assassinate people for having an opinion, what is the point of a democracy? We might as well go to communism and just no more opinions for anybody. It's our way or no way. So I think that just the fact that Charlie was able to go out and be on college campuses, give people a mic, whether, it was left wing, right wing, doesn't matter what side you're on, just the fact that you can have a mic and debate. I don't care who's right anymore. I think that on its own allows people to hear. I remember I was listening to somebody that I don't like politically, and my dad's like, "Oh, well, why are you listening to this guy?" I said, "How will we coexist if I don't take the time to listen to what the enemy politically, or the maybe not enemy, we'll use a different word, but like
different party,
opposition,
the opposition.
That's what the opposition is asking for. How am I supposed to know how to coexist if I don't even know what they want? You can't look at life from one lens. You got to be able to look at this from a different lens, right? So I think the 2 cents here is just saying there's a lot of things that we can agree or disagree with, but at the end of the day, not losing your humanity is what counts and what's important.
Well said.
For me, those things are very important.
I'd love to hear from Ronnie.
I am not going to comment on Charlie Kirk because, in all honesty, I heard a little bit about him, sadly, only after his death. I never actually followed him. It's crazy to say, but I never.
Oh, you mean you've been busy building your business? Before.
That as well. I have a very busy life with fatherhood and several projects that we've got going. I never actually watched his stuff before, so I'm not going to comment on that topic.
Respect. Yeah, and more people should say that because I think we're woefully uninformed on most topics, and so we should say that more. I don't know. Actually, I don't
know everything, man. Sadly,
I'll actually say that I also didn't listen to Charlie Kirk much. I saw his clips. And I saw it because it turns out he's a Bitcoiner, and I'm into Bitcoin as well. So that's kind of how I listen to him a little bit. But like you, Alex, I don't agree with a lot of what he says, a lot of what he said. But I respect the man who has the courage to get up in front of the opposition and to try to convey, you know, your worldview, your beliefs, your politics, etc. Because, I mean, that's what that's what our country's about, Canada and the United States, right? It's kind of exists on a foundation of freedom to a certain extent. Free markets, free speech, democracy. I'm a huge freedom guy. Like, maybe I don't want to put myself in a box, but I could say like freedom maximalist. Like, I want to maximize freedom because I think that's where the magic happens. When you unleash creativity and innovation, I think that's where a lot of amazing innovation and creativity and art and businesses are formed and tech is created. So for someone to like shut someone up in a very final way like that is it's despicable, and it's it should be frowned upon. And I think we should make an example of the guy who did it, you know.
Did they catch him? I'm curious. They caught the guy?
Yeah.
Is that the young guy?
Yeah, he's young, 22. Tyler Robinson. Yeah. But of course, if you look online, the conspiracy theories say that he's just a fall guy. That's what's tough these days, guys. You just don't know.
It's so hard.
Fake.
And you hear something, you're like, oh, maybe. Like, I'll put a 1% chance on that, but still, there's a possibility, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy that did the attempt on Trump was way more sketchy, in my opinion, because, you know, first of all, they killed him, so we couldn't really figure anything more out. But they go to his place. Everything is wiped.
Oh, really?
Who does that? Everything's wiped. Everything's clean. No fingerprints, nothing, no evidence of anything. And it's like, come on. Ça crée un doute, you know?
Yeah.
But you have to be careful not to go down those rabbit holes.
It's so hard not to, man. It's so hard not to go down that rabbit hole. I actually, when I heard about the young guy that shot Charlie Kirk, I heard slightly shortly after that they have some footage of him at the similar time at like some burger shack or some restaurant nearby. You saw that as well. Yeah. So again, is it going back to the deep state and all the conversations earlier?
Yeah.
Is it somebody else playing the puppet somewhere?
Here's the thing. The official story is that was actually 6 hours after. So it's totally possible. But what you brought up and what scares me is that ça le crée un doute dans ta tête. Yeah. And that's all it needs to do.
Yeah.
It just needs to make us think twice, like, oh, maybe it isn't. And unfortunately, we're swimming in a sea of like information and disinformation.
Yeah.
And very little of it is signal. Yeah. Most of it's noise.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I like that you said signal and noise, and maybe we can finish up on this topic here. I'm kind of, rolling out back into a little bit of the business because, this is what I really care about. And I know this is something we all care about, is to inspire other entrepreneurs to continue to push the tempo, try to fight through that big bureaucracy that we're in here in this country, and try to continue to elevate what entrepreneurs are. And like you were saying earlier, maybe not vilifying what an entrepreneur is or what entrepreneurs bring to the table. I feel like we do vilify that a lot. Noise versus signal, some of the greats, I was listening to CEO Diary of a CEO, and Kevin O'Leary was talking about his time with
Steve Jobs.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And he was saying, noise versus signal.
Yeah.
And I think we all make the mistake in falling into, listening to a little bit too much noise and forgetting about the signal. I know you've done it. I've done it. I'm sure you've done it. We've all done it. And the most successful entrepreneurs in the world are typically guys that were able to cancel out the noise for the longest amount of time possible and stay focused on the signal. Mm-hmm. And every time you interview somebody that talks about one of those entrepreneurs, you just see how insanely focused they were on signal, right?
That's it.
So Kevin O'Leary referring to Steve Jobs on, this guy was like 80-20 signal noise, Steve Jobs was 100% signal, And Elon Musk is 80-20 because I think he gave him some noise because of his political ventures.
Right. That's possible.
Well, you can see Elon Musk coming in and with a toilet bowl into Twitter. I mean, that was just
yeah.
But
Elon is
that's
just
historic.
Insanely productive, no matter how you cut it.
That,
I don't understand, to be honest.
I want to do one thing. I want everybody maybe pick a CEO that you like, that you appreciate, or each other, or people you know. Doesn't need to be greats.
Yeah.
And what you had a moment of messing up with some noise, and how important signal is to you. If we can do that all, just to show how we all have our different ways of, or what we've done as a mistake and what is noise.
That's good.
And maybe we can end the segment on that. Ron, we'd like to hear from you a little more.
I would like to answer that question. My favorite CEO, it has to be Steve Jobs. Speaking of noise and signal, I recently saw a clip where Steve Jobs would address a crowd, and I have a little bit of a hard time communicating in front of a crowd, but Steve Jobs was asked the question, and he took 19 seconds to think about his answer and respond to the crowd. I don't know if you guys understand what 19 seconds is. Yeah. It doesn't sound like a lot, but
it's awkward in a large crowd like that.
Standing in front of a large crowd, just sitting still, waiting for the answer to come to your mind, thinking about the answer correctly of how you're going to address it is phenomenal. And this guy was so powerful with the way that he negotiated. He's somebody to look up to for sure. He negotiated about a $50 million difference in a price of a business deal when he was trying to acquire another company. Mm-hmm. After everything was set, the deal was done. He negotiated $50 million down in the price. That's entrepreneurship for sure.
Yeah, he's a great, absolutely. You guys probably haven't heard of Michael Saylor.
Of course.
You know Michael Saylor?
MSTR, baby.
Yeah, that's it. So Michael Saylor, for those who don't know, he's the CEO of MicroStrategy. Now it's called Strategy. And they're basically the first public company to pioneer like a Bitcoin acquisition company. So they're basically buying up all the Bitcoin. And
that's why I don't know who he is.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not a Bitcoin guy.
Yeah. And I'll give you a quick stat just to show how insane this strategy is. In 2020, the company was like shaky. It was a zombie company. They didn't have any moves to make. They were sitting on a lot of cash. The cash was being inflated away. It was losing value. The company was worth less than $1 billion. Fast forward 5 years after they started the Bitcoin strategy, they're worth I think at their peak, like 128 billion. So 128x in 5 years. And they're not stopping, right? They're just going to continue if you know his strategy. So what I love about this guy is super contrarian. We're in a world where, to your point, we'll save this for another podcast, but a lot of people don't know about Bitcoin, don't really understand it. And if you're the person who's heading a public company and you convince your board of directors and your team to like acquire this digital currency, this digital property, I'll call it, it takes a lot of courage, takes a lot of balls, takes a lot of vision. And in 5 years, the strategy has 128x'd. So to me, it's like, holy crap. Sometimes when you take a risk and you have it well aligned, the results speak for themselves. So that's why I like Michael Saylor.
Well, a lot of great CEOs will always tell you that you need a little bit of luck. So.
Oh yeah.
So obviously being a little lucky in the timing really changed anything.
Yeah.
For me, I don't know if you guys have heard of Travis Kalanick.
Of course.
Do you know Travis Kalanick?
No.
He was the founder and CEO of Uber. So that's probably one of my top CEOs. This guy was pretty focused on signal. But what I like about Kalanick is he was able to turn noise into signal. Mm-hmm. That's a little bit different. And he was known as a wartime CEO. And I feel like that plays to my style. I'm a wartime CEO. Mm-hmm. I think if a company wants to win head to head, Doesn't matter the industry you work in. If you put me at the helm, I'll come after every single thing you have. I'll take your child's food. I don't care who you are, what you do. And that's Travis Kalanick. He had this thing where he would say, hustle. I'm not gonna say it right. I don't want to massacrate it, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure I say this right because it's good. It's really good.
Travis is impressive.
Fear, he said, fear is the disease and hustle is the antidote.
Mm-hmm.
And I live by that. Hustle, hustle, hustle. I'm a little bit more traditional sometimes in some of the things I'll do and how I do business, but he basically brought the gig economy to life. And to me, that is phenomenal. He started his own thing.
Yeah.
The gig economy is because of Travis Kalanick and Uber.
Our business wouldn't exist without him. This idea of sharing assets, he created the category.
Yeah, he literally created a category. So forget what he did in transportation because he just, and I say this too, and that's why I'm just making these references, but I say this typically, there's not a lot of people that create the new innovative idea of the world. Typically, business is sometimes you just take something that already exists and you make it 100 times better. You remix the flow and do it again and again. And I mean, Uber at its core is just basically calling a cab. He just found a better way to do it. But outside of what he did in Uber, building the ecosystem of transportation, and what we hope to do is to do better what Travis Kalanick did. My vision of transportation is to build the first mass mobility as a service system across many platforms, all interconnected as one ecosystem, a multimodèle de transport, as we call it in French. But what I typically say is, like, you just take somebody else's idea and you make it better, or you use it because it has there's a different algorithm you need to add to it or change a couple of variables, and it becomes a solution for something a little bit different. Like we said, with creating the gig economy. And that's what Travis Kalanick did. He literally pulverized his way into governments and made people stand up against governments.
I was going to say he was the bane of bureaucrats because he just came in and he said, screw the rules.
Yeah.
For those who don't know Bane, we're talking about Batman.
Okay.
Because you know what he does in Batman, right?
Well, I mean, he doesn't.
Come on.
Well, no, but I mean, I know who he is, but yeah.
The uprising of Bane and Batman. Against the government. It's actually a thing.
Oh, I didn't know that it's literally that.
It's literally the storyline of in the movie.
All right,
but that's not what you're referring to. But that's how I'm referring to
Got
it. But yes, exactly. He literally gave the finger to the government.
He basically sidestepped the regulations that were. The taxi companies, as you know, had a medallion system, and it was very like ossified. There was a way to conduct yourself, and then
100%.
Uber came in and basically created illegal taxis. But in doing that, the reason they won is because they got the consumer to be like, no, I want this, right? Yeah. This is a better experience. It's cheaper, yada, yada, yada.
It's the power of the consumer. You said that what you spend on creates the value.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you guys for being here today.
This was great.
This was a nice Saturday. Missing probably to do this more often. We should do this more often. I'd like to do this more often. I think we hit topics and we talk about things. At the end of the day, we're just trying to, make people think a different way, see that there's other people thinking like them, and that entrepreneurs are special. And every single entrepreneur, no matter what you do, what industry you're in, how you do it, I want to say that it is one of the hardest things to do, to wake up every single day, to go at it and hustle, and maybe hustle all day only to get nothing, risk it all. Create new partnerships, trust new people, all that risk that you're taking day in and day out, no matter what industry you're in. Give yourself a tap on the back because it is tough. It is tough, but it's not made for everybody. It's a specific breed that can do this. So thanks, guys. Thanks for coming and joining me.
Thanks for having us. We'd love to. I'd love to do this more often. This is my very first podcast. Very first time with you guys together having a conversation, believe it or not.
It was good to have your insights.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So
thanks, Mike.
Looking forward to it.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you.